Hello, this video is a follow-up to this video where I talked a bit about my work and life situation, how I'm on a mission this year to make my full income from being a musician in some way, shape or form. You might want to watch that one first for context and a backstory if you've not already. Anyway, in that video I said the plan was to give you some regular updates on how that's going, and this is update number 1. Okay, I'll start by giving you a rundown of my progress and the numbers over the last few months. Then I'm going to try and talk a bit about things I've been doing and thinking about for the future. Right, so the new tax year started in April, so my year is starting from then. Let's have a look at a breakdown of income from just music-related work. As I mentioned in my previous video, my expectation is that I'll have to continue with some freelance video production work, which I have done over these last months, but I'm just going to focus here on music-based income. Before we look at the numbers, if you watch that initial video, you'll know that I mentioned getting a job teaching piano in a private school 2 days a week. Well, two things. Although I knew back in February that I'd got the job, I didn't actually start there until the end of April, and then didn't get my first pay from them until May. But the real kicker was the job wasn't quite what they advertised. They see the role hopefully growing into 2 days a week, but currently it's just one afternoon a week. So the income from that is a bit less than I thought it might be. So no money from the school in April, but what other music work did I get? Here's a quick breakdown. Okay, firstly, local piano students, £270. So these were a few students that I've been teaching locally for a little while. Okay, next, online students, £330. Now, these are people who have reached out to me for one-to-one lessons after seeing my YouTube videos. We do online piano and music lessons. £135 from gigs. Now, YouTube AdSense, £411. So this is money directly from YouTube, which comes mostly from the ads that you see in the videos. Incidentally, this is actually the most I've ever received in 1 month from YouTube. The algorithm was being kind to me around then. But my final deposit from music-based income from April is my Buy Me a Coffee page. The kind of people who watch my videos and feel they're worthy of a little donation to help the cause. There's a link on all my videos where anyone feeling generous enough can head over to my Buy Me a Coffee page and donate a little money, as much as a coffee or 5. This was £170 in April. Thank you to those people. So that's April. A total income from solely music-related work was £1,316. 46% was from teaching, 44% was from creator content, and 10% was from gigs. Okay, what about May and June? I'll try and do this quickly. Okay, May, £150 from local private lessons, £430 from online lessons, £525 from school teaching. So this is the first money that I got from teaching that one afternoon a week at the school. £100 from gigs, 55 quid from recording. This is me just putting a bit of keyboards on someone's track just here in my office. £61 from Buy Me a Coffee, creator donations. Thank you. And finally, just £265 from YouTube AdSense. So in total, that's £1,586 in May from music-only income. Slight improvement on April's numbers. That's 70% from teaching, 20% from creative content, and 10% from gigs and recordings. Okay, June, £150 from local private lessons, £630 from online lessons, £465 from teaching at school, £585 from gigs, £250 from recording. This actually included a very pleasant trip to Abbey Road Studios. That was pretty nice. £145 from Buy Me a Coffee creator donations. Thank you very much. And finally, £310 from YouTube AdSense. So in total, that was £2,535 for June, a nice little increase on the previous 2 months. Breakdown of June was 49% teaching, 18% creator content, 33% gigs and recordings. Okay, so that's a breakdown of the monies over those first 3 months, and I generally feel like things are heading in the right direction. April and May both had a few video jobs, which were useful in those months, but last month, June, was I hardly had any video work, and it was my most successful month since I left my job. Actually, for the last 2 months, I've made more money than I used to make at my old job, so that feels really nice. Let's just hope it continues. I am pleased with where things are, but part of me feels like this might be a bit of a disappointing watch, as it really isn't an exciting example of someone making a living as a musician, but more like a music instrumental teacher and budding content creator. There's not a lot of performing, recording, or composing that you might expect to be central to the life of a full-time musician, and it's likely not particularly aspirational. But three things. Firstly, this is my story, and it's where I'm currently at. Secondly, this is part of the story. It's not the end of the story. I'm 3 months in, and I'm pretty confident that my update at the end of the year will paint a different picture. And thirdly, this is making a living as a musician. And for me, it's better than the alternative. I get to spend my days thinking about playing, talking about music. I'm winning. But also, okay, maybe there's 4 points, but also maybe that's what the new normal might be. I reckon it's pretty uncommon for professional musicians to only make their income through one direct means. I think most musicians have to diversify and have a few different streams of income, unless you're in the top 1% of the most successful musicians. Although it seems that content creation is becoming part and parcel of being a top musician these days. Right, so a few thoughts about what's happened and what I'm thinking about for this coming months. In terms of what I've been actively working on over the last few months, it's been mainly focusing on trying to continue the growth of this YouTube channel. You saw earlier that 30,000 subs on YouTube, as we are at the moment, with around 100 to 150,000 views a month, is only bringing in around 300 or 400 quid a month, which is lower than I expected, actually, if you'd have asked me a year ago. But I think if I can double or even triple those stats over the next year, then it could be a really valuable income. So it's almost exactly a year since I started posting these videos on YouTube. And to this point, I've been posting every 2 or 3 weeks. I think if I could manage to get videos out a bit more frequently, maybe once a week or once every 10 days, that would be a way to increase some income. And I guess that would also help speed up audience growth too. As I showed you earlier, the growth of the channel has brought in more indirect work opportunities, as I thought or hoped that it might do. And I think that's the stuff I'm most excited about. Up to now, that's mostly come in the form of people reaching out for private lessons and the donation support of what I'm doing through Buy Me a Coffee. I've also had some contact about some other collaborations and bits that either haven't happened yet or there wasn't financial reward for those things. And hopefully, as the channel continues to grow, so will these other opportunities that it brings in. So although I'm pleased with how things are going, I don't see this continue to be the status quo. As well as organic opportunities from the growth of the YouTube audience, I've got other plans to grow opportunities and potential income streams. To start with, and you might already know this, I've recently launched a Patreon membership. For those of you who aren't aware of what Patreon is, it's a subscription service where you can not only support me to continue doing more of what I'm already doing, but you can also get some exclusive extra bits of content and goodies from me for a small monthly subscription fee. I was initially unsure about starting this because I was concerned that I was going to have to make extra content for little return if only a few people signed up. However, I launched a few weeks ago, mainly motivated by the school summer break. I won't be getting paid in August and September from the school I've been teaching at, so I figured it would be sensible to get it started sooner rather than later and hopefully have a little bit of extra cash coming in over those few months. But my hope is that my Patreon will grow into a nice, regular, reliable income. So as well as Patreon, what else am I thinking about going forward? Well, I've been thinking about this, and people have been suggesting this for a little while. It's creating a course to sell. I wanted to create something like a 10-part video series called An Introduction to Modern Music Theory or something like that. A few hours worth of video content that systematically walks through music theory, but separate to the YouTube content that people might hopefully purchase for about 99 quid or something like that. Now, the difficulty here has been actually finding time to start work on it. Or maybe the problem is not getting myself organized enough to start work on it. So over the next few months, I think my priorities will be continuing to create engaging content on YouTube in order to grow the reach of the channel and then hopefully bring more of those people over to become members of my Patreon and the community that we're building there. and making sure that Patreon is a place where I can engage with that community and provide extra value to those who are supporting me there. Building that community and audience is currently the highest thing on my list. I think as a musician and effectively as a business owner, having a large engaged audience is going to be the key to a fruitful future. Man, that's hard to say. Maybe that's a good place to leave it. In summary, I think that my quest to earn full-time income as a musician is going well so far. If you've got any thoughts on anything, then I'd love to hear them. If you think I'm missing a trick somewhere, let me know. Anything. Let them be known in the comments. I know this hasn't been like one of my usual videos, so I appreciate if you're still watching. Thanks for being here.